It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Fu Manchu has a question. I've got 2 young kids and they're getting some cash gifts this year. What do y'all recommend or do personally as a spend versus save allocation for your kids? And then where do you park that savings?
Well, I'll let you go first since you have the younger kids, and then I can talk about the older kid action.
So I have little kids. My oldest daughter is 7. My youngest daughter is 5. And then we have a brand new baby on the way that will be here in the very near future. And so right now, what I'm focusing on is conceptual ideas. I want them to really grasp that. So for both of my daughters, we have these little piggy banks. You can buy them off Amazon, and it's just got 3 compartments, right? And it's literally like a jar with 3 slits in it, and they're multicolored. One says give, one says save, and one says spend. We call it our give, save, spend jar. And every time they get money, whether they're, grandma gives them birthday money or they go, by the way, did your kids ever do this?
What?
Did your kids ever set up a table at the end of your driveway and then just start selling crap out of your house that you did not approve? Like one time we went out there and they had like one of my wife's hats, and it was like a nice hat. Like it was like they had it for like, $2. And I was like, what are you kids doing? And fortunately, none of our neighbors came by and just absolutely fleeced us and took our stuff. Your kids ever do that?
My kids didn't, but my mother, when I was at college, did that. My mother sold every one of my leather basketballs that, when you get a leather basketball,
it's a big deal.
I played basketball in high school, is that, it took a while to break those things in. My mom, I found out she sold all those leather basketballs for $0.25 apiece.
That's heartbreaking.
In a yard sale. And so it's bookend. Your small kids do that stuff to you, and then your mother, who's cleansing you of her life, does it while you're away in college.
Yeah, so if my daughters decide to go out and steal some of mine and my wife's stuff and sell it to neighbors in the neighborhood, when they get that money, I always walk her through give, save, spend, to have them do these 3 compartments. Now, they haven't gotten to percentages yet. They haven't gotten that figured out. So often what I'll do is I kind of do a third, a third, a third. I know that's not exactly perfect, but it gives them the idea. So whatever money they have, I will break it into denominations, whether it's dollar bills or whether it's change, so that they can choose themselves to put it this much in the give part, this much in the save part, this much in the spend part, so that it just becomes automatic. They know whenever they come in possession of dollars, they have to think through how they're going to split that up. Now, as they age, I plan on becoming a little bit more sophisticated with it. Like, okay, well, let's talk about percentages. And then, okay, hey, you have some savings built up. What are we going to do with that? Because right now it just sits in this little jar. Eventually we'll have an account where they can earn interest on those, and then an investment account where they can invest those dollars. But it's about mastering the behavior first and then moving towards the optimization strategies.
Yeah, and I'll speak to older kids. The older kids, you're just trying, if you're from a successful family or you've built success, you're trying to make sure you instill those same behaviors in your kids, because all the research shows that a lot of times if you have built wealth, there's a good chance your kids are going to screw it up. So it's really inherent on you to make sure that you get some skin in the game from them. So what I've encouraged is, my daughter's gotten older. There's several things, like with the car purchase, she did pay for half. And I've shared that. I've even gotten trolled in our comment section because people go, how dare you give your kid this unsafe car, versus you could afford to buy them a nicer car. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel that powerful about her driving a modest car. Yes, it doesn't have all the safety features because it's 15 years old.
But it's not unsafe. It was a great car.
Yeah, I mean, I did it. And she's doing it so far. I'm so proud. Her backup camera doesn't work on. I'm going to get that fixed hopefully over Christmas. But that car has horrible blind spots, and she's developed the skill of being able to back out. It's great.
It's a great skill to have.
But skin in the game, she had to pay for half of her car. So I think she learned, hey, I'll take care of this car. It's the same thing with investing. Is that I do a dollar for dollar match, whether it was regular money or whether it was retirement money. Once she started working and had earned income, we started doing Roth IRA dollar for dollar contributions, because I want her to be excited. And then I go over when those accounts are making money. Now, look, we're in a bear market right now. We haven't talked a lot about those accounts with her, but when markets were making money like they do the 7 to 8 years out of every decade, I was showing her, I was like, look, your account last month when I got that statement made $300. Do you know how many hours you'd have to work to make $300? Yep. You'd have to go work making $10 an hour. That's 30 hours worth of your work that your money just did for you automatically. That stuff's powerful. So get the kids involved with the money-making decisions and let them have skin in the game so they can figure out how valuable this is so they can start that deferred gratification understanding, because it's no different when you have a car that's been sitting there for a while. Look, I drive an electric, but you still have to, with older cars, pour a little gasoline in the carburetor to get it kind of fired up. You're priming the pump on your kids saving and investing and getting deferred gratification to work for them in the long term.
I'm going to add one more thing on there because this just hit me and this fires me up. I'm going to do it very, very quickly. Sorry, Ruby. With your kids, if you're someone who has means and you've had some financial success, I would encourage you to work hard to not let that be a crutch to your kids. My wife bought my kids this Black Friday deal, these little Stanley cups. You know the Stanleys? They're like super popular things. Apparently we buy them for kids now because that's a thing we do. But it was an amazing deal, right? They were not incredibly expensive. I want to say she got them for like $16, which is a really good deal for like a little water jug. They take it to water every day. Day one taking it to dance, like day one, first day, it is lost now. And she has owned this thing for less than a week. And I was like, baby, daddy's not getting you another one. Like you find, when you go back to the dance studio, you got to like find it. That's it. We're going to go pull one out of the pantry. That's what you're taking to school tomorrow. We're not replacing it. Even though I could go replace that, like I want her to know that mommy and daddy had to work hard to go earn the dollars to buy that thing. And so we have to take care of our things. So I just want to that is on my mind right now, so I thought I would share it.
Well, I mean, you make a good point, as I think if you do have means, create some scarcity in your kid's life. Don't buy them the nicest car. Even if your kid starts the lawn care business or some other thing, you're not buying your kid a Tesla when they turn 16. Yep. I think that's, you're going to steal a lot of their, because one of my fun things when I think back on my life was the journey of expanding the what brings me happiness. So, my first honeymoon was the first time I'd ever traveled internationally when we went to Cancun, and you see like an open bar and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the most. If I grew up in a household where everything was always easy, I think about would I have enjoyed that first honeymoon or that first trip that Jennifer and I went to Europe, or when I first got to buy my first new car when I was 32. Give your kids something to have those check marks of success. If you give them everything too soon, I mean, I see it all around us. We live in an area of abundance. When you give your kids the Teslas, the Mercedes, and the BMWs, what are you setting them up for? Yeah. I think it's a big mistake, and it's all back to trying to look rich. I think I'd much rather have wealth but build and use money purposefully than just trying to impress my neighbors by buying my kids a very fancy car. So I'm like, look at the Prestons. They obviously have money. That's not what you want to show your kids. Create some type of scarcity.